Well, it's that time of year again where we have to do the annual packing of the wheel bearings. So we're going to walk through that process. First thing you're going to notice here, maybe you'll notice, I'm parked on a hill and there's a pain in the butt because in order to be safe, I have to really be secure when I jack up the trailer. And we're going to go over jacking up the trailer, where you jack and where you don't. I'll tell you right now, you don't jack on the axle tubes. No way. That'll bend them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to back the truck in and hook it up. And then I'll secure the truck, block the truck, leave the landing gear down, and then I'll back up, or jack up one side of the trailer at a time and work under there. And even then, I'm not going to climb underneath, but knowing that the truck is hooked up and the landing gear is down and the other wheels are blocked, we should be good. So let's get on with it. Okay, today it's time to actually jack the truck up on this dreaded slope driveway. So as I mentioned earlier, I've hooked the trailer up to the truck. I've blocked the truck, secured the truck, and I'm securing the trailer. And then I'm going to jack this baby up. Now, jacking it up, the jacking points, we'll show you that in a second here, so hang on. First, I'm going to show you what not to do. Never jack on the axle tube. You'll bust it, bend it, do bad things to it, throw your alignment out. The manufacturer will remind you of that if you check their literature, but please don't do it. Okay, so here we are. Now, I have one of those Cougars with a slide-out bike rack, and it looks like a very convenient place to jack, but it won't hold the pressure, it'll buckle, so you have to find a spot on the frame. I'll show you what I found. Okay, so there we go. Right on the frame rail. I've got a better shot of it there. I'll zoom in a little closer for you so you can see way up into there. You've got it right onto the middle of the frame rail, right by the end of the bike rack. There's not a lot of space between the tire and the slide out bike rack, which by the way is really cool. I use it all the time. Alright, jacking it up. Yeah, see, that was scary. See, the trailer shifted as soon as the truck hitch took up more of the load in this slope driveway. I'm gonna have to adjust this out. Alright. Okay. We're all off the ground now. And if you don't have one of these, then it's a good idea to break loose those nuts before you take it off the ground. This is also a great time to give a quick test on your trailer brakes. And all I'm going to do is go up to the front here, out of the camera. I just pulled the breakaway cable. And one lock tire, another lock tire. So, at least I know that the circuits are good. It's a good thing to check. When I have the hubs off, I'll check to see how good my brakes are doing. I don't know if you can hear the construction, but yeah, I thought they wouldn't be working today, but building new subdivision across the street. So we're going to pop the dust cap off. Okay, so now that I got it loose, I can just pry it off the rest of the way. The grease cap, that is. There we go. Put that somewhere safe. That's what I have these for now. And there's the bearings. And this is where it gets messy. Yeah, there's a nut on there. And a cotter pin there somewhere. Now it's time for me to replace those things. Get all my tools dirty, yeah. Alright, there it is. Put that aside and get ourselves a new one. Alright, I bought this. What size is it? This one's a 38 millimeter. Actually, it's not on there very tight, and it's not supposed to be. We'll go over the torque settings later when I put it back together. And everything gets covered with grease. Okay. Get this baby off. There it is, that's all there is to getting it off. And we can see the brakes now. Alright. Seems okay, no grease leaking. Oh, just brake dust. Well, we'll get another few seasons out of those. Okay, so here's the first bearing. Just take it out. Put it on the clean spot. And then we'll deal with it. There's a washer with it. Alright, and on the other side, we have to pull the seal. So, we'll get to that in a bit. I dig out the seal puller, which I seem to have neglected to hang out. In the meantime, we can see that we haven't had any grease leaking. Just brake dust. So good. Okay, so that's my latest acquisition, OEM Tools. I think it's a cheap brand, but I'm not a professional shop, so I don't need the latest and greatest. I haven't used this thing before. Apparently, you just go like this, or okay. Let's see how this works. Okay, let's try it. I hope you saw that. And of course, it wrecks the seal, so gotta have a set of new ones in hand. Okay, and here's the inside bearing. So we'll clean those up. Check for wear. You can, I guess I'm not sure what to look for, but I'll figure it out. I think it'll be obvious if they're worn out. But these were brand new. These were replaced a year and a half ago with high quality Timken bearings, so these should all be good. Now we're gonna have to make sure we keep that brake drum clean, but that's what the brake cleaner is for later. Alright, so this grease was darker than the grease when it went in, so that's seen some use. Cool. Alright, and I have another new tool that I'm going to show you in a minute. So yeah, this is where things really get messy. I mean, you gotta clean the old grease off the bearings. Right. And then yeah, they're a mess. There's the old grease. I don't need to show you all this, but you can dip them in solvent and get them totally clean, but I'm not going to do that because I have this neat tool here, the bearing packer. Basically, I'm just going to push. These bearings have only been in there a year, so they're not very dirty. So I'm just going to basically push the old grease out and put new grease in and put her back in. Yeah, this tool has been really neat. You screw that on, and the grease gun, you just pump some grease into it and it squeezes through. Take them out and put it in. I'm working on my own today as far as working the camera, so if I get my hands too dirty here, I'm going to mess up my camera. So all the detail work can be cleaning the bearings and packing these things. You're just gonna have to trust me on it. Anyway, it's messy. I got one finger here I can turn it off with. I mentioned I was cleaning off the bearings, but I also need to clean all this old grease out and pack it in with fresh grease. No, it's a big pile of grease. Just wipe it all off. It's quite the mess. Not the most fun thing to have to do, but it's all worth it when they get down the road and you don't have any problems. Yeah. Okay, so this is an addendum to the video that I did 18 months ago when I last time I repacked the bearings. So at that point, I didn't fully wash out the bearings, and I just pushed some new grease through. But here's the deal: like, you can see the green grease here. That's Lucas grease, and I can't get it anymore. So that leaves me with a problem, because I don't think it's a good idea for greases to mix. I think if you look it up online, if the greases are of different formula, it's not a good idea to mix them. So this time, I'm going to have to wash all that grease out of everything and fully repack it, like totally. Like, I don't want any of that old grease left, and I bought some new grease. I'll show you the kind of grease that I bought. So I did some reading. It's really hard to tell you know, which grease is a really good grease, but I decided to go with a synthetic blend grease, and so this Valvoline is what I chose. I bought it in the tub, and I also bought it in the other container. The thing that goes in your grease gun, the 14-ounce thing. So, and I bought a new grease gun to put it in so that I can use different greases without changing the thing all the time. It's a pain in the butt, because I use different grease for my suspension than I do for the wheel bearings now. Okay. So here we are. This time, we're going to completely clean out the bearings with the solvent with a brush, and yeah, we'll get them all this gook out. And you can see this grease here is supposed to be that green Lucas stuff, but it's kind of gone black, which tells me it's definitely time to have done it. And yeah, we'll get all the grease off of here. And I'm also going to make sure that all the solvent is dry before I start packing new grease onto it. And I'm also going to clean all the grease out of here and off the spindle, which I'm not going to show you because it's just a spindle. And other than that, all the procedure is the same as the one I filmed last year. Or was it 18 months ago? It's March now. March 2024. I think I last packed the bearings in August 2022. So there we go. I'll get all the grease out of that too. Alright, here's the bearing packer. So you clean the bearings out as much as you want to clean them. Solvent or whatever it is you want to use. Then you stick it on the lower cone, and this lower cone here, you'll save yourself a lot of grease gun pumping if you pre-fill the cavity here with grease. And then when you hook the top on, you pump the grease gun, it'll squeeze out all the fresh grease out through the bearing races. Cool. Messy, of course. I'm so messy today. I just going to spin this thing on. It's got a lot of spinning because it handles some pretty big bearings, but these are not the biggest ones it's designed for, so. Alright. We'll make sure that's straight in there. Okay. Okay. And like it's got my grease gun too, you see? We'll pump her up. There it goes. Squeezing through. Alright. Let's take a look. Yep. There we go. Get some of the old stuff out. Because I did not. These bearings haven't been in that long. I did not soak them out with solvent. Okay. Couple more pumps. There we go. And take this top off. Oh, it's stuck to the top. One nicely packed wheel bearing. And we're going to stick it right in. And for the outside bearing, we're going to do the same thing. We don't need to watch the whole thing. I've seen one, and this bearing goes in the outside along with this washer and then the lock nut. So yeah, just basically fill this thing up with just tons of grease. And inside, get it all against the bearing and both sides. And then we got a grease seal, which I'll pound on with a block of wood. So, just pound the grease seal with a block of wood. That's it. Put the outer bearing in and slide it on the wheel. One thing I almost forgot. This grease on the inside of the drum, bad. I should have been more careful. But anyways, that's what brake cleaner is for. Now it's clean. Okay, so this is the last one. All the rest of them done today. So I'm just going to clean up the spindle here. All the old grease. Put some fresh stuff on. And then we'll slide the hub on. Okay, here we go. Slide her on. Got some fresh grease on the spindle. Don't need very much. My head right in there so I can see. Don't want to damage that seal. That's it. Get the front bearing seated in there. Come on. There it goes. And the washer. And the nut. So in this particular axle, the procedure is, especially with new bearings, I don't know if it's necessary with older used bearings, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to grab my torque wrench. I'm going to torque these nuts 50 pounds and then back them off. And I only need to do them finger tight. And once they're on there finger tight, put your new cotter pin, which I went and bought today, in, bend it over, stick the grease cap on, and you're done. So yeah, I'm just about done today, which is good because I think the pizza's in the oven. Yeah. Now I've got to shut off the camera with this greasy hand. Fun.